So let's talk about the rear end accident. This accident is probably the most common type of car accident occurring, at least in urban and residential areas like Baltimore City. Now, the question of fault obviously arises in these situations, and as a rule of thumb, I would say that the following driver, the driver that hits from behind, is most usually and most commonly going to be found at fault for the accident, but that is not necessarily a guaranteed outcome. The law imposes obligations on both drivers to act cautiously under the circumstances and to take care so that they don't injure others. The driver in the front vehicle has an obligation, for example, to signal their intention to turn, to slow down, or indeed to stop. Whereas the driver in the following vehicle has an obligation to keep their vehicle under control, to be aware of weather conditions, slick roads that might make stopping difficult, and of course to travel at an appropriate speed. So although it is the usual case that the following driver is going to be found at fault, it's not always the case. There are circumstances under which a jury is instructed that the mere happening of an accident doesn't mean that either party was at fault. And you sometimes see that in these rear-end collisions, that a judge is of the impression that a accident might have happened, but the mere fact that it happened doesn't necessarily mean that the following driver was at fault. And in the absence of proof of additional factors indicating negligence on the part of that following driver, there's no victory for the plaintiff.